Salmon in the grasses. In other words, this is bear country. And I got a primer on that. If it's a brown bear with the big hump on its back, then you make big noises and try to scare it away. And since my name in Vanuatu is Wawa Paluba, which means big uncle, which sounds to me like polar bear, I figure I can do that. But if he keeps coming up and hits you, you're supposed to fall down and play dead. But if it's a black bear without the hump, it has nothing to do with the color, then you're supposed to fight like hell because he intends to make a meal of you. That's what, a GPS?
It's inReach satellite communicator.
Okay. So what does it tell you?
You can send an SOS and send email and text through their website.
This is the other crazy person. This is Lee.
Not quite as crazy.
Okay, so this is the making of the boat. It's going to carry them across all that ice. You're going to be too tired to go. Okay,
Did that work on both boards?
Pardon me?
Did mine work on both?
Yes, well, it was pumping. I'm going to pump it up a little more, and since we have time to practice.
Yeah,
then we
that would
may
be
as
good, I think.
Yeah.
practice? You mean you're going to deflate them again before you go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great laugh. You really should run the Iditarod.
Don't give her any ideas.
Well, you're giving me ideas, Rich. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you at the finish line.
You know, there are quite a few women that do. And a matter of fact, there's one, Allie Zirkle. She came in second, not this year, but the 3 years before that, she came in second.
Second overall?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is just for fun, folks. And then they're going to let all the air out and do it again. Easily entertained. Okay, so this is making more sense. Those are dry packs. We have an island called Kaho'olawe in Hawaii that was used for a bombing run, and the people protested and finally got it back. But there is no dock, and they have no intentions of putting in a dock, because if you want to go over and stay overnight, you bring everything you want and put it in one of these, and when you get close enough, you throw it off the boat and hop in, and the idea being that when you come up on shore, everybody looks the same. So they have everything in these, and they're lashed down to the board. That sounds better. I had visions of them standing and paddling with sleeping bags and tents and bear containers all hanging from their shoulders. So what do we have here?
These are the 2 bags that I'm going to mount onto the front of my board that have all of our backcountry gear in them, including our bear canisters with our food.
The bear canisters are in.
The bear canisters are at the bottom here. Yeah. And then I've jammed everything else around and on top.
Including, you got tent.
Yeah. We decided to bring luxury items like backcountry chairs. And yeah, our food, our clothing, sleeping bags, sleeping mats, camping.
And the bear canisters are made of what?
I honestly don't even know what the material is.
They're soft?
They're hard. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. And they have a top on that you need a coin to open and close, so that if the bear finds them, they can't get in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
The handle is the center of the board.
The handle's the center of the board, and so that's where you stand, is right in the middle of the board for balance.
So now you just tied something where you're standing.
What?
So now you just tied something where you're standing.
You don't stand on the handle, you stand on either side of it.
Uh-huh.
And so I might keep my tea and this water here. So if the water's rough, it's easy for me to access it without having to go forward and back on the board. I think I might keep those there.
And
John, did you say you had a patch kit for the board?
No, you were doing the patch kit. Yeah.
and she put water in the back, 6 liters each.
So we're each going to carry about 6 liters. So there's 4 liters in there. I'm going to have a Camelback, so there'll be another bladder of water on my back. And then our water purification system, we have a SteriPen. You need a 1 liter container, so that's what this one's for.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then this is for a hot beverage because it's probably going to be really cold.
There's that laugh again. So what were you explaining about the water and the islands?
So depending on the time of year, when you're going from island to island, it can be hard to access fresh water if it's being quite dry. So we need to carry an extra supply of water. So just in case a few of the streams or whatever aren't flowing. It's been really wet, so at parks they told us if we get to the mainland, the creeks are rushing all along there. So that's good.
I love that laugh. What a difference a day makes, but still we can't see the Fairweather mountain range behind. The big mountains with the glaciers. You saw about my friends from Whitehorse, and they're coming here. I want to see them leave. I told them I'd video it, and I packed up my camera gear, some salmon jerky, some trail mix bars, a book about the settlement of Gustavus, and what better place for some Alaskan amber. Getting ready for the trek. They're up at the ranger station telling them where they're going and when they're supposed to be getting back. Incredible. That is one paddleboard and the other. Not me. I'm gonna hope that this is showing the right thing. I can't tell because of the glare, but the black there says you are here. They'll go around that point off to the right and then up into Glacier Bay, and that's where they're going. This is interesting. This is Johns Hopkins Glacier, and it's the only one that is growing and getting thicker and larger. All those other, the green ones, up at the top is Muir Inlet that I read about last night, Muir Glacier. That's where they're going. All the others are receding, some fast and some slowly. This is showing Johns Hopkins Glacier, which is the only one that's still growing. And they can see these islands and stellar sea lions, which are pretty big, and a tufted puffin. And then, of course, the caving glacier. You don't want to be too close to that. Here are goodies for the trip. What's the Sterapen? Is that mace?
SteriPen, that one is for purifying your water. So as long as you have clear water, if it goes into a container clear, they can do that to kill microorganisms or whatever like disease could be in the water. You need to pre-filter it if the water is silty or murky or anything like that. But yeah.
And what's this?
This one is the bear spray.
Aha!
Yeah. There's got to be one somewhere. There it is.
Poor thing.
A number of different foods. This is the emergency bivy.
Bivy?
Yeah, so instead of having an emergency blanket, it's like an emergency sleeping bag. So you can go, yeah, completely inside of it and just have your head exposed, and they're warmer than just a blanket, especially if it's windy. The wind can blow the emergency blanket all over the place, but you're inside of that one. And then the stormproof matches and a wet fire starter that they can start a fire in anything.
Wow.
If we need to be.
That's cool. I'm getting an education. And so is our club. I might make a whole program just about this. I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
It's amazing what's out there for technology and everything for backcountry and camping and stuff. That's really cool.
So a sleeping bag in my pocket.
Yeah.
You've heard about the Alaska tides. My friends are not going out for several hours because they're waiting for high tide. I told you that they'd be going around Icy Strait to the left. Oh, I can't even see from here. But instead, they're going right here, which is all land right now. But about 6 o'clock, that'll be water, and they can paddle in a protected area to get up where they're going into Glacier Bay. Only in Alaska. This might seem a little uncool, but I don't have a dry suit. They're trying to inflate the boards as much as they possibly can, because when they get in the water, they're likely to deflate a little bit. We're getting high tech here and hoping that this thing holds for the camera.
It doesn't just sink to the bottom of the inlet.
Yeah. Just like this.
Hey, I can see you on the camera.
Well, that's so much funner than loading a kayak.
I haven't loaded a kayak before.
Well, it's a pain in the ass. You have to make everything small and squeeze everything in.
They told me tent, sleeping bag, all this stuff, and I had pictures of them standing with all this stuff hanging from their shoulders.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
I haven't done the solo shower yet thing, but that'll be the next, step.
Yeah, they have all sorts of neat showering type things that you can get.
What is thing? Yeah. I mean, when it's sunny and warm, then you can just jump, in cold water.
Yeah.
But when it's yucky and...
The last backcountry trip that I did, I went for a swim in the morning in the lake, and it was a glacial lake. Like it was cold and it's like, but it was still nice.
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah.
The official picture.
Sure. The official start.
I know. Beginning to take picture in.
This is Katya from Gustavus, and she's been giving him instructions on the places that are loaded with bears. And said
Sounds like
that
everywhere.
this would be a bear play toy, a chew toy.
We can.
It's so much fun.
Lift?
You want to put your in first?
No.
Nope.
I wanted to lift it.
Mm.
It was heavy.
Oh, I see. That's okay.
It just does not look like it would hold that much weight. Yeah, but it does.
It's floating.
I know.
Yes.
It's too weird.
It's just too weird. Do you want me to do? Are you
No, I'm good.
okay?
And they probably don't tip that easily, do they?
No, they're really stable
They're
actually. Yeah. But if you get into rough water, you just start paddling on your knees. You just lower down if you're feeling them going.
Do people start using these on rivers yet?
Oh yeah,
They do.
yeah. And that's where I paddle probably the most now in the Yukon is on the river. Yeah. I don't do whitewater, but lots of people do.
Maybe you could get like a crazy creek, and then it could just be like all kinds of versatile, right?
Yeah.
Like if you just got a crazy creek chair and just sat and. I'm like,
We were talking about that.
When we were on the ferry, we were sitting in the solarium. I love this chair. I'm bringing it. I'm gonna, like beach chair paddleboard through Glacier Bay. That'll be a first ever.
well,
for
even
sure.
here, you can make your dry bags, right?
Exactly, and I've done that a number of times on an easy river. Paddle with a friend, or you're paddling, and then
You just lounge.
you just lounge and tie the boards
love the
together
What?
and have lunch. And
How do you?
You're selling me.
How does
Selling me
the?
on lounging.
How does the chair stay?
but the chair's a bit of a joke.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
actually
well.
bring it in.
Oh.
The joke until
Yeah.
Michelle
But you
tries it.
could. Crazy. And then the whole. You have to keep them going straight.
I said they were waiting for the tide to go up so they could get out through this protected area. But another point is that the tide is going that direction, so they might be able to get a little bit of a free ride.